How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day. We are approaching training camp for the Cincinnati Bengals, which is great news because that means we have other things to talk about that isn't the glaring contract concerns with the Cincinnati Bengals right now. But nonetheless, still a concern. You still want to see your first round draft pick on the field practicing. You drafted this man as a project. All the talent in the world, all the attributes, the gifted abilities this man has, but you knew he needed a lot of training, a lot of practice, and he was going to be a guy that could grow into that projected mold of a player. So when he's not playing, when he's not practicing, when he's not looking like he's not going to show up on the field with his team, it is a concern. But I do think you have to start to question, where's the leverage at right now? Right now, Shemar Stewart in camp, I'm sure they're holding out for good reason, thinking they have some leverage, and they do got some leverage. You know, Bengals in camp thinking the same situations, like, hey, we're just going to hold out. Eventually, he's going to take our deal. And for me, when you take a step back and you think about this, again, as always, an opinion. Could be wrong. Shemar Stewart right now, here's what's important, I think. Not even Shemar Stewart. Let's pause and take a look back and say why we don't have to look far. Myles Murphy. Myles Murphy is just now getting his chance. Say what you will, right? They never tried to plug and play him. It was the Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson show, and I get it. He's in year 3. Now, if you imagine you're Shemar Stewart, all this talk, all this walk, or no walk right now, all this talk, no walk right now, and there's a good chance he doesn't play till year 3. A very, 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 I would say, above 70% chance he doesn't play year 1. And when we say year 1, I mean start. Like, sure, he's going to get some backup reps. He's going to be in the rotation. But he's not going to be a game. He's not going to be a day 1 starter. He's not going to be a week 2 starter. He's not going to be a week 3 starter. Not going to be a week 8 starter. Unless there's some injuries and things really fall apart. There's a very good chance. And the reason we say that, because, well, that's just the way the Bengals work. The last time the Cincinnati Bengals drafted a player in their first round, that was a defensive player, and he played or he started more than 5 games that's his rookie year, was Keith Rivers in 2008. What is that? 17 years? 17 years. You go down the list of guys. There's a better chance you get drafted. And this is... We don't have to talk about this. I just think we're going to... Really kind of depressing when you think about it. But you look at the Bengals' first round draft picks that are defensive players. There's a better chance you're not a starter by year 2. And you're not touching the field until year 3 consistently, then there is you're a starter and consistently playing in year 3. Darqueze Dennard, Trey Kirkpatrick. William Jackson was actually one of the brighter ones, if you know, out of the bunch that actually worked out. But a lot of these guys, you know, Dax Hill, drafted him as a backup essentially until you seen Vaughn and Jesse walk out the door. You know, guys like that. Until the opportunity opens for these guys. You see it all the time with the Bengals. And you know when they drafted this guy with low sack production, but all the tools in the world, all the pressure rates in the world, all of that, they drafted him saying, probably not going to start him year 1, give him a chance to grow. But if you're Shemar Stewart, seeing that, every single day that ticks by that you're not on the football field, your chances of growing, your chances of improving, your chances of wiggling your way into the lineup. We know this front office has no problem burying talent. None. And every single day you're holding out, you're holding yourself back from getting better. So for me, every time this guy, every single day, once training camp starts, that clock starts ticking. Every single day that goes by, you might as well just start taking the contract meter and just going down for him, just slowly. And it does matter in a big way, because the thing is, you know, he's worried about that money right now. Let's talk 5th-year options. 5th-year options are very heavily based on your performance the first 3 seasons in the league. You get 2 Pro Bowls, you know, you're looking at the franchise tag value. 1 Pro Bowl goes down a little bit. You know, no Pro Bowls, you're playing 75% of games. Again, you're going to see the contracts around there. If you don't even meet any of those contracts, 75% of snaps, 50, 75% of snaps in 2 of your first 3 seasons. There's a criteria that, per NFL.com, where you got to play X amount of snaps your first 2 of 3 seasons, whether it be year 1, year 3, year 2, year 3, in order to qualify for said bracket, said incentive there. And then all of a sudden, if you don't meet that, now you're starting to look at the average of the 3rd to the 25th best player at your position, and you're getting that money. So consistently, you're seeing the money go down. You're going to lose year 1. probably going to lose year one. And now all of a sudden they're at the Bengals. You know, we don't forget, but the Bengals start to forget about those draft picks, what number you took them out in year 2, year 3. And if you're not performing, now all of a sudden in year 2, you set yourself back because you just didn't want to try to grow and develop and try to be out there on this field and put yourself in the best position to succeed year 1. Now all of a sudden we're going to year 2. A couple things could happen. Maybe you're not where the Bengals want you to be. Maybe the Bengals extended Trey Hendrickson. Maybe Myles Murphy's breaking out. Maybe. A lot of maybes that don't favor Shemar Stewart, that maybe, again, it's just not looking bright year 2. Now, all of a sudden, if this man's not a starter year 2, the dollar sign starts to dwindle a lot. And I love to bring up the Myles Murphy comparison because, hey, we're in year 3 of Myles Murphy's contract. This is about the time, end of year 3, before the start of next season, to pick up 5th-year options. But not only that, you're starting to think about long-term extensions. As a fan of the Cincinnati Bengals, who's thinking about paying Myles Murphy, just say $15 million a year? Nobody. Nobody. The chances of him making $30+ million right now feel like it's about 2%, maybe not even that. Because again, he's only going to have 2 years on that resume. Maybe the Bengals pick up the 5th-year option of 3, but it's like, hey, you got to worry about the potential of injuries. You got to worry about the performance. The longer you start to drag out as a draftee from playing consistently, the more and more it hurts your value. Now, of course, there's exceptions. Absolutely, there's exceptions. But a lot of the times, it doesn't work out. So if you're Shemar Stewart, you want to be on that football field today. And you want to prove that you want to be great. And you want to be great because, sure, you're worried about nickel and dimes right now on what would be, you know, 25, 35, 40 million a year this guy could be making if he just applied himself. He showed up to work every single day and tried to be his absolute best self. But when you're not doing that, you're hurting yourself more than you're hurting that team. You're hurting yourself more than you're trying to prove a point right now. You're just hurting yourself. And I hope at some point in time that just that light bulb blinks for Shemar Stewart and they get this deal done. And I gotta say, I know we're kind of talking Shemar Stewart leverage wise here. We're talking the negatives of Shemar Stewart, but I just looking back, the Bengals got to get. I think knowing how hard-nosed the Bengals are, they're going to be patient. They're going to be patient with this guy and just wait until he does what they want. But boy, it just. You can see why, and this is where Shemar might be trying to say, well, we got the leverage because people just don't like the front office. Well, that doesn't. I don't think the front office cares. But if you just look at the service, I was just thinking earlier, all this front office has to do is put up a top, not even good, a top 15 team in the trenches. Top 15, average. For the next 5 years, and Joe Burrow probably wins 2 Super Bowls. I was going back on the data and just seeing how the Bengals were 25th, 29th in pass block win rate, run block, run stop, and pass rush. And like the statistics, they're actually better in run blocking that year that you went to the Super Bowl, but the rest were terrible. And then you look at every single team that's been in the Super Bowl since then, none of them can bat an eye. None of them come anywhere close to being that atrociously bad. And if you look at the teams that have the quarterbacks they do it, if you give the Bengals that kind of team with Joe Burrow, I think he did that with literally the core, that with absolutely no core and foundation on the line of scrimmage. If you think that they just applied a little bit of pressure, spend a little bit of money to try to fix those areas, how good this football team can be. And that, for all things considered, the front office gets all the heat they're getting. And that's why it is at the end of the day, it's a lose-lose situation. Shemar's losing, the front office is losing, everybody looks bad. It's a car crash where both people are on their phone. And at this point, somebody's going to take responsibility and just move forward and try to do better. We'll see what happens though. Nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.